Guys, and welcome to week one of the assessment for the NUEL. I'm hosting this week and will be hosting them going forward. They will most likely be Wednesday nights now, around 7 or 8 o'clock. We'll be posting the information on when they'll go live, on the NUEL Facebook and Twitter page. This week, I'm joined by fellow NUEL caster of mine, Munch, and a member from ACOG and Birmingham. If you guys just want to introduce yourselves and say what you're here for, starting with you, Munch.
Hi there, my name's Munch, obviously. I'm a caster for the NUEL. I will be casting the Group A games with Shadow as my co-caster for the upcoming season. Can't wait to get started. That's all I've got to say.
No, that's perfect. And Rift, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, I'm Rift. I'm the mid laner for Birmingham in Group B.
Great.
And that's pretty much all I've got to say.
No, that's perfect. And Zanogra, how to pronounce it? If you want to introduce yourself and tell us how to pronounce that correctly, that would be great.
I'm Zanogra, the support for ACOG, and I main Tarek and Lily, so ban those out.
Okie dokie. Both taught they well. Straight into the first question, wasting no times. Just want to talk a little bit to you guys about previous experiences in the NUEL and what your mindset is coming into this February tournament that's starting on Sunday. We'll start off with you, Rift. How do you feel you guys are coming into this tournament? How do you is Birmingham feeling confident in themselves? You know, how do you feel you've done in the last split? Anything you've been improving on? Anything you feel confident in yourselves in?
I think we feel fairly confident coming into this. Obviously Manchester's a very big threat. They always have been. Last split, I think we could have taken at least one game off Manchester in the finals, but I don't think anyone's really disappointed with how we did. That's pretty much it. We have a roster swap coming into this with our top laner no longer being able to play, so that's obviously shaken things up a little bit, but we're moving on, and we're just currently working to get used to the new roster, get used to having a new player on the team and everything.
Okay, that's fair enough. What about in terms of your? Okay, let's go from here. You've said Manchester looks very scary. Obviously Manchester have. I think it's fairly confident at this point to say being the most dominant team in the NUEL in terms of placements and where they've came. So you're saying that you're coming in thinking that they're very strong. Who else are you feeling is quite strong coming into this as a team, and who is Birmingham not too afraid of as well?
Well, obviously both Manchester teams are quite scary. We have a kind of rivalry with Manchester Penguins, and also KVGS are actually they've done very well, and they could be very scary. Not so scary. We're not really too scared of Nottingham. We've had quite a good record against them. So
fair enough.
No, they're not looking.
Some of them lads in Nottingham are my boys, so I've got to vouch for them. I believe in them this season. They've got a new roster in themselves, so don't count them out just yet. Does seem like we have dropped Sonagra from the course. Hopefully we'll get him back soon. But until then, okay, we've gone through there. While we're working on that, what you say that you guys are trying to iron out, obviously having this new roster and trying to adjust to these roster changes. Sorry, what exactly are you doing to do that? Is there any way that you guys have been training in particular, just spamming ranked fives, or you're concentrating on shot calling and synergy? What have you guys been doing to try and work on that?
Well, we only found out about our top laner yesterday. So we did some ranked fives yesterday with our new jungler. Our jungler's now gone top lane, and he's just trying to get comfortable with champions which are currently strong in top lane, because he's been jungling and mainly doing that in solo queue. So he's now swapped to practicing top laners and just getting to know what's pretty strong right now.
Right, fair enough. So he's just trying to adjust to the meta then at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're just because obviously we've got a new jungler working on synergy. Fun enough, his name is Synergy between him and the solo lanes in particular. You can kind of leave bot lanes to do their own thing.
Right, fair enough.
That's
That's completely fair enough. And as a mid laner and as just a player of League in general, you talked a little bit about how you've got some members trying to adjust to the current meta. How do you feel about the state of the game at the moment at the current meta? Do you like it as a mid laner? Do you not like it? You know, what's positive and what's negative about it?
I think it's pretty good at the moment. There's certain champions which need to be fixed. We can kind of no need more to be said about that.
Which
Casting.
champions would you like to be fixed? If you could pick 3 champions to get nerfed for the mid lane right now, who would they be?
Well, just exclusively for mid. Cassidin, blatantly. Probably Kale, but Kale hasn't actually seen that much impact. So I probably wouldn't say Kale. Probably Ziggs as well.
And he's back. Sorry, just welcome Zeros back. How nice to have you back. Nice little trip away there. Rift's just going through how he feels about the current meta and champions in there, so we'll get to you when he's finished talking. If you want to carry on, Rift, sorry for interrupting you, bro.
Oh, no worries. I would probably say the 3 mid lane champions that I believe should be nerfed would be Castin, Ziggs, and Gragas, I'd say. Those 3.
Right.
Mainly because Castin has too much mobility for the amount of damage he has, as well as that annoying silence. Gragas is just insanely tanky and incredibly annoying. And
ridiculously good burst.
Yeah, with also having like 20% damage reduction. It's a bit absurd. And then Ziggs with his ability to stall a game for like an hour. So that kind of doesn't need too much more said about that.
Right. Okay, that's fair enough. I've nothing, no surprises there with the champions that you picked, so I'm happy with that. And obviously, Xanos, if we go back to you, you have lost your little nameplate thing, if you want to put that back there. But while you were disconnected then, yeah, no problem. Obviously, you're a member of ACOG, and ACOG were a very dominant team. They were up there with Manchester. They got a little bit of a rivalry with Manchester. Then there's a bit of a dramatic, not a full, but this disappearance of ACOG, and we didn't hear much of you from the NUEL. But there was FCOG, who was, I believe it was the second team of Aberystwyth, right? And they worked their way up, and obviously they have got into the Super 8 this season, and now you've got some members of the previous ACOG in that team. How are you guys feeling about this new team, and what sort of mindset are you coming into this new tournament as a new team but having previous experience against these teams in the Super 8?
Well, first off, starting with the qualification thing, I don't know how we actually got back into the Super 8, but no one from FCOG is in the current team. At least no one I know. I don't think anyone was from the FCOG team.
Your microphone has gone a little bit quiet. Obviously, you did say that it would go quiet at times. It has just randomly gone quiet now. I think we've got you back if you want to try speaking again.
Let me try and fix this, hang on.
Yeah, that's volume's fine at the moment, yeah.
Right, if it does it again, tell me.
Yeah, we will.
I know this is an issue with this laptop. Right. But yeah, that was the first thing I wanted to say, because I know members on the team, when they said in the what was it that was posted? The power rankings, it said in there that we were basically the FCOG team, and we're not. We're the old ACOG team. In terms of threats and history, obviously Manchester was the team that blocked us from last season winning the championship, and I'd say last year was close, but in the finals we didn't put up a good showing, so we kind of had a rivalry that started off.
Got a little bit quiet again, bro. Sort of sound like you're falling down a lake and it's just getting quieter and quieter there. So
I really don't know what causes it. Like, there's no setting.
I think it's maybe adjusting its volume to the volume of your voice. So then when you laughed into the mic and that immediately brought the volume back. So I don't know.
Yeah, just try and shout at the top of your voice at all times. So just saying, you is the full member of the previous ACOG. Obviously, we saw what you guys are fully capable of. There is a few teams in the Super 8 at the moment that weren't in it when you were previously inside. So Nottingham A, were KVGS Kittens in it previously? I don't think they were when you were in, were they?
I don't think they were, no.
Yeah, KVGS were.
Oh, they were. Okay,
At least we've played against KVGS once or twice.
Right, okay, but this Nottingham A team, and I think there is one or two others, I believe. But how do you feel coming in? You know, what teams are you fearful? Obviously, you said again Manchester. You've always had that rivalry with. You're saying you're feeling confident to face them still now. But is there any other teams that you're feeling a little bit worried about facing, or you don't mind facing? You feel that aren't necessarily as strong as the others?
Well, in the last assessments that we went through, I was saying that towards the end of last year, previously around December time, it had always been just ACOG and Manchester. There was no real competition there. It was always, if we were opposite sides of the brackets, that was the finals. There was no, I don't think at any point was there an upset where either of us went out earlier, unless like, I think maybe we did one.
That's fair to say. We are slowly losing you again. But no, that is fair to say. ACOG and Manchester were definitely the two dominant forces, and it may even be fair to say that when ACOG went, Manchester argued, that they said they weren't really left with any real competition. Obviously, last split we did see some strong showings from the second Manchester team, from Manchester Penguins, from Birmingham, and we did have teams step up. But originally, when you first left, Manchester said there wasn't any real high competition. The teams have all stepped up now. We've seen Birmingham do great last tournament, and we've seen Manchester Penguins do really good as well. How, other than them, do you feel that you can just come into this, even though you haven't been in the NUEL for a while, you can come into this and just straight away go back to your former glory then?
I think I'm not going to make any grand claims that we're going to come back in and roll it, because I think given the level that the competition has reached now, it would be a pretty bold claim. I mean, you have some very established teams.
Into your microphone.
What I was saying was that.
So yeah, if you want to carry on, Riff's just sort of breathing into his microphone, forcing his face onto the screen. So.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, towards the end of last year, there was some new competition that was coming up, and particularly in Imperial and Birmingham. They're probably the two teams that I don't know if Imperial rather is still in the Super 8, but obviously Birmingham is. They're in our group, and that's going to be I think that's going to be a big decisive point for us, because if we can beat Birmingham, I think we'd feel more confident, because then at least we know that we have a shot at being back relatively where we were before, where we're competitors to Manchester, and not saying that the rest of the competition isn't good, but at least we're on an even footing or slightly above them, and therefore we have a chance at going for the finals. But I'm not going to make any grand claims, because we actually have no clue where we're going to start now. We know that our bot lane is now better, and we know that before we already were the best bot lane in NUEL. That isn't really a grand claim to make. We never really lost bot lane, so that was just like, everyone knew that our bot lane was the strongest part, so people just tried to shut us down.
Fair enough.
We still have Ped, but he's moved position to top lane, which is where he wanted to be. So I'm hoping that will work out better as well, because we used to have issues with our top lanes not being necessarily too reliable. I'm not saying they were bad, but it's just their results were inconsistent. So some days, they'd be really good and just dominate top, but then other days they'd just completely fall over, and they wouldn't really communicate too much either. That was one of the big issues we had, was we just had a real lack of communication with top lane. So we have a very select champ pool, I'd say, for our mid lane, but it will work. It should work. And our jungler has some interesting picks too, but we haven't really practiced as a team yet. We're only just now forming as a team. I mean, I only just became available again for NUEL pretty much 2 weeks ago, so we haven't really had time to put anything together. So first week, again, I'm not making any grand claims. Maybe as it on goes, but first week, I'm not so sure.
Well, you're definitely not going to have a gentle and welcoming entrance to the NUEL, as your first match in the first week is against none other than Manchester. And that is going to be our first game on Sunday, guys, so make sure you tune into that, because there's a lot of hype around that game, and that's going to be a really good game to see the state of both of those teams. By all means, the loser is not definitely going to come out weak, because both of them teams are going to be really big powerhouses, but it's going to be a great way. So how is the team's mentality in going against Manchester straight away in the first game in week 1?
I don't think we care, to be honest.
Fair enough.
We know the groups. It's the Super 8, like I said, the competition's gone up. So, to be honest, I think, I personally feel better about facing arguably the best team straight away, because then, again, it just lets you know where you are.
Yeah.
If we get completely rolled, then we know how much we need to improve. If we give them a decent fight and we lose, then, we know we've got something there. And if we beat them, well, that's fun. That adds a whole new layer to it.
Yeah, definitely. You can ride that wave of confidence through the coming weeks, I'd imagine, if you do have a good result against Manchester in the first game. But it's great to hear. Obviously, you guys got a bit of practicing to do. If you've just said, you've just come in and you're just working together as a team, hopefully that previous experience will help out. Towards the end, obviously, there's a few rumours that you had a few disputes within the team, and that you said yourselves. I'm guessing now you've sort of ironed that out and you're all communicating a bit better in that.
If ironed out means completely got rid of the problems, then
yeah, perfect. That's great to hear. That's perfect to hear. Obviously.
Well, I say there were problems. They were just basically, we had 2 members of the team before who either didn't wish to play anymore, or playing was obviously a detriment to whatever else they were doing. And in particular, our jungler, it really affected his education because he was playing League too much. So I think it's completely fair enough that he dropped out. I mean, that's why we actually dropped out of the first week of the rehash back in, what was it, October when the first tournament was? Yeah. That's why we dropped out, was because literally in the middle of practice, our jungler just said, I can't do it this year, I don't want to fail again, and just left the team speak, and that was it. We were just done with practice there and then, and the team just collapsed, so it was just completely sprung on us.
Well, fair enough,
So,
and obviously...
we've managed to bring back another team, but we'll see how it feels.
Definitely, that's the main thing, and as I said, not a welcoming start, but we're really excited to have you guys back and to have more competition in the Super 8. And as we said, all of the teams in the NUEL, not just in the Super 8, in the Open Division, in the Second Division, everyone really is stepping up. So we really expect nothing but great games from the whole of this tournament. In terms of, you've said that you guys haven't really trained that much as a team as of yet. If, as and when you do start training before Sunday, what is it you guys will be doing? You just be doing ranked 5s, just working on your communication and shot calling. What are you guys going to be focusing on? What do you think is your main weakness that you need to work on right now as a team?
Well, I guess just communicate. I mean, whenever you talk about teamwork, communication is always the biggest thing. So we just work on, keeping people talking about, is there an issue here? Can we collapse on this? Can we gank here? Can we, just looking for objectives, seeing what we can do in the game. That's really the main thing you have to focus on as a team. But it's kind of unlikely we're going to get any practice in, but we are used to that as a team. I mean, everyone knew back in the last year of the NUEL as well. We aren't a team that particularly practiced too much. It wasn't because we're cocky or that we didn't want it. It's just literally we didn't have the crossover in timetables. I mean, most people in the team are either doing a lot of things at nights, either they're fresh as they're going out, or they're third years like myself, and now I've got this work and other lectures to go to. So it's just a case of scheduling it.
Yeah, just trying to fit in practice around that. Completely understandable. We'll have a little bit of group discussion. We spoke briefly to Rift about it, but I'm okay with this. All of us talking about as a group about this now. The current meta of the game. In the latest patch, and this tanky top lane, arguably the fall of the assassin sort of mid, although they are starting to come back a little bit. These dominant lanes we're seeing bottom with Jinx and Lucian and esports and that. How do you guys feel in ACOG and obviously Birmingham as well? Munch, obviously we cast games week in, week out, we practice casting, we play Joker ourselves. How do you guys feel about the current meta? Do you think it fits to your team's positives, or are your members starting to have to adjust to try and fit into the meta? I'll start off with you, Zanagra, since Rift already spoke about it, but we will go through everyone after.
Well, I can't speak too much for my teammates.
Obviously, fair enough. As a main support, I'm a main support myself. How do you feel about the current meta and the current state as for a support?
Well, personally, I love it because it's working incredibly well for me, and particularly in solo queue. It's actually ridiculous how good some of the supports are right now, particularly Leona and Thresh. The two of those, I would be incredibly surprised if they're not banned against us, because I mean, I've got like 65% plus win rates over like 40 plus games on both of them, so people should be scared of those. It's like they're so dominant in lane and they're so dominant in team fighting, and they have no real bad point in the game.
Yeah, I
And they
agree with
both kind of stalemate each other in lane. I mean, Thresh wins early, but then Leona wins late, so it's just if Thresh gets banned and Leona's open, that's suicide. And if Leona's banned and Thresh is open, that's also suicide. So you
that.
either gotta take one, ban one, or ban both, because trust me, I won't show any mercy with them.
Well, there you go. It's not showing off if you can back it up, guys. And with that win ratio, obviously, you know what you're talking about there. Rift, we spoke to you a little bit before, but a bit of a chance now to go a bit more in depth about it. As a mid laner, how do you feel about the current state of the game? Obviously, the fall of the assassins at the start. You know, with these AP burst mages are coming back out really strong. The LeBlancs, Syndra. We've seen a lot of Akali's lately as well. Katarinas. The AP, not all, common, but we've seen the burst AP mages rise up and the assassins fall down a little bit. How do you like the current state of mid?
I absolutely love it. Katarina and LeBlanc are like two champions I've always enjoyed playing, but they've never really been perfectly viable, especially versus like back before Zed was nerfed. Like the old meta used to shut out, especially champions like Katarina, which have a very weak laning phase, especially against a champ like Ari that would just poke her out in lane. But now that these champions are starting to become more viable, I'm starting to really enjoy playing a wider champion pool. I know last split, my team pretty much forced me to only play Nidalee. Not forced, but I pretty much only played Nidalee. I think I played one game which wasn't Nidalee. So I'm going to enjoy not playing Nidalee for once.
Well, I guess the Nidalee could still come out at any point because she's still very viable, and if you've got that skill on her. What about, obviously, as a mid laner, even as a support with the Synergy bot, but as a mid laner more, the jungle changes will affect you as well, because obviously mid lane's a lane that's focused very hard on with the jungle. How do you feel a lot safer now with like the trinkets and that, or because of the current state of the junglers, people going very CC heavy? You see a lot of the strange junglers coming out now, like Gragas and that as well, which I personally don't like, but that's something we can talk about a bit later. How do you feel? Do you think the changes to jungle affect the way that you've played mid lane at all?
Yeah, definitely. I rarely move away from my tower if Evelyn's open. I really despise that champion to the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, I'll back you up on that one as well. If Evelyn isn't banned in solo queue, then god damn it, I'm mad. Especially with the changes to pink wards now as well. Any champion with stealth right now is. Me and Munch actually casted a game yesterday with a jungle Twitch who went like 11-0 just because of stealth.
This is a diamond level game as well.
Yeah.
He absolutely dominated, like completely trounced.
That's something else we could talk about. Obviously, so the jungle definitely Evelyn and all the stealth assassins. So the vision changes. And Nagro, how do you feel as a support? Obviously, before main supports pretty much were the vision control and that, but the changes to pink ward, the changes with the trinkets and that, do you like or dislike the current vision changes?
I like it because it means that supports now can buy other things, and that's a great thing because it just means that there's more versatility and more playability to supports now. You're not just a AD babysit. You can also be a really hard engager and real frontline, and you can also be a real damage burst cast with things like Annie, Zyra, even Fiddle to some extent, though not so much after his nerfs. But like, it's also really annoying because if you like previously, if you could get a Sightstone, you'd get a Sightstone and then a whole stack of wards on top of it. So then if there was a Baron, dance going on, you could really stay around there for ages with 10 to possibly even 15 wards at a time, and you'd just always be able to keep vision in that area. But now, if they just have one pink ward, it lasts forever, obviously, until it's at least killed. And they also have the dominance over the Barons if they're blue side. Blue side? Yeah, blue side. It's much easier for them to then keep control over that entire zone, so you can't really move down into the river area. And it just means that they will just always have the advantage on that Baron side when you're trying to get vision. And it was frustrating because that's one of the things I used to have a real edge on, I think, anyway, was being able to keep Baron control.
Yeah.
But it's much harder now that you can only place down 3 wards plus a pink, and it just makes it a lot more annoying in solo queue. Like in team games though, I'd imagine it's a lot easier. Because at least you can communicate vision a lot better and, you know, it saves you a lot of gold and a lot of hassle, but in solo queue it's a pain. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And obviously with the scanners coming out of the trinkets, it's pretty standard now to have at least 2 members with a scanner, and any ward you do put down can just be cleared straight away. Munch, obviously you main AD carry. We've duoed ourselves, and obviously you guys would have had AD carries in your game or in your teams. Lucian and Jinx are the main ones I want to talk about because they've came out both really strong. I prefer Jinx at the moment because she has really great kit, especially when paired up with a Thresh or a Leona, and she can follow up with like a Flame Jumpers and just shut down someone. How do you feel about the current state of AD carries? First, obviously, Munch, but you being an AD carry main, how do you like AD carries at the moment? And do you think the changes to vision and everything with the support and the junglers changed them a lot?
I don't necessarily know how much vision has changed AD carrying. I mean, I have to actually buy wards now, which is always it's just always a shame. But other than that, I don't think the vision has really changed how AD carry plays out that much, really. In regards to Jinx and Lucian, Jinx I think is incredibly strong at the minute, possibly even in need of a slight nerf or maybe a tune down at least. I think her rockets with the range plus the area of effect, if you can pair that with say an Orianna ultimate and get 2 crits in a row, the whole team's like dead already. You don't even have to do anything else the rest of the team fight. And then you've got an area of effect execute on top of it that is, it's an incredibly strong combo that you just can't really argue with. Disadvantages though, obviously, you only have an escape if you get a kill or a turret. So, swings and roundabouts. It's a fantastic champion if you can position yourself well, but if you get caught out, then you're going to get punished massively. As for Lucian, I feel he's got a lot. I feel like he's got so much burst, and he's a really strong champion, but I feel he's not as strong as Jinx. I think he's a really good champion, but I think Jinx offers much more range of stuff. I mean, Jinx has the burst, or not quite as much burst as Lucian, but does have very similar level of burst, can follow up on, say, a Leona or Thresh, like Zenogra was talking about, the 2 pretty much best supports currently. And also has more sustained damage than Lucian, so I feel like Lucian's kind of the pick I would go for when Jinx was banned.
Right, fair enough. No, pretty much agree with that. Zenogra, Rift, anything to add to that, or you guys happy with that as well?
Oh, go ahead.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, let's
You go
start
first.
with Rift. Let's start with Rift. I'm
Okay.
gonna call the shots at Rift. You go first, man.
I think that Jinx is definitely stronger than Lucian. However, Lucian's also a very strong pick against. I know top lane Nasus is very strong right now, but the ability just to remove with her or to kite is far better on Lucian. So Lucian's more of a safe pick than Jinx, but Jinx definitely has more range, which actually can't just make her very safe, but Lucian has the ability to kite and the ability to get away from champions like Renekton or other top laners or mid laners that could dive onto her, whereas Jinx kind of has to sit there and take it and die if they're fed.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And Zenogra?
Is this stream PG-13?
Try and keep it that way for now. I don't have a bleep button, so yeah.
I have a real hatred for Jinx. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
Agreed,
you can use
agreed.
that terminology.
She
That's
is.
fine.
She's just like previously in bot lane, it used to be the case of most of the ways that AD carries were heading towards. It was like Ezreal plus Trist, Graves. People would jump, some kind of escape mechanism. So the way it worked was, the AD carry would be your damager, but they'd have their own defensive ability. And then the support was the person who could punish. So you play someone like Janna who could keep people in for a long time if they engage, like the W plus Q. Or you play like, Thresh with the hook and flay. Like, your support was your punisher, and your AD carry was your escape. But Jinx, Jinx being the broken piece of... Yeah, she is, right? She has 2 ways to hard punish engages. So if you're not going for a complete hard kill engage, she will always win a trade. That is just how she is. You can basically only engage with her as the owner at like level 6, because unless really early on you catch her out of position, and I mean pretty badly out of position, she's just going to punish you too much with her W and her flame chompers. That you just can't really escape that unless you dodge the W and somehow manage to avoid the flame chompers, but they've got pretty decent coverage. I mean, they're a decent length of pixels across, so it's
Like
just
half
it's
the
really,
lane.
yeah, exactly. It's like it's really frustrating to deal with because you're basically forced to play a ranged support against her, and like even people like Thresh are too short, so people like Lulu work pretty well against Jinx. In fact, Lulu punishes Jinx pretty damn hard, but it's really annoying playing as a melee support against her because you can't really ever trade against her. You just have to kill her, or you don't try anything at all. And it's really frustrating if you're trying to make plays, which particularly against solo queue is just annoying.
Definitely.
If you don't kill her as well and you're running away, she'll just ult you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then you're dead anyway, so that's half your health gone, so you're dead no matter what.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. I think the last role really to talk about is the top lane, and obviously, to me, the top lane's starting to get a bit stale now because it's literally about 4 champions that you just see over and
Mundo.
over again. They'll always be banned out or they'll always be picked. There's pretty much no change in the top lane lately. But other than the obvious Shyvana, Mundo, Nasus, and Renekton's always going to be in there. Is there any sort of top laners that you guys like right now in the meta, or is it literally just anyone that's tanky?
Tank Gragas.
Triforce,
Yeah.
Triforce Malphite, and all that good
We
stuff.
actually had a game yesterday, and they picked Gragas. So I was like, oh, okay, Gragas. Yeah, I'll pick LeBlanc, I guess. Pick LeBlanc. Turns out it's tank Gragas top lane. We were like, what? So even other champions are being played tank. But I think no, there are top lane champions which will always work if you're good with the champion and good with the matchup. Like I know this may be before the whole big tank meta, but Westeros used to play a Carly top, and he would do okay because he's very good with the champion, but nowhere near as strong as the next gen Mundo, especially. I hope Riot removes that champion. That's such bad. I hate him so much. And then Shyvana as well, although she did get a bit of a nerf. It's just those super tanks are incredibly hard for you to stop if they're just running at you. Especially Mundo, who gains 150 AD from his E or whatever it is, and just whacks you on your face and slows you. You can't really escape.
You just cannot run away from him ever. And just
it's
throwing
literally
his cleavers at you, or you're slowly trying to escape. Yeah.
And even I read an article earlier from a Korean player who was saying that what EU and NA haven't adapted is Olaf, because he's really stupidly strong right now, and he fits into the whole run of the AD carry and kill them because you can't stop him.
Yeah, Olaf, I actually really like in solo queue. If I'm forced to go top or jungle, Olaf's still really strong. The other champion that we've seen come out a lot more now in the LCS and in current games to try and counter this top meta, not directly counter it, but trying to fit in, but also be good against these tanks, is the Trundle. Do you guys like the Trundle pick? Is it anything that you guys have considered? We should try and practice this or that. And don't have to say if you have, but do you like that pick right now?
I know you were talking about hidden OPs, champions which are strong but not actually pay that much, and Trundle's definitely one of them.
The only issue though with Trundle is he just doesn't. Don't get me wrong, he's good for countering top lane, but the main issue with him, as it always has been, is that his engage, whilst it's alright with the pillar, it's A, not reliable, and B, not as good as other ones. Say a Vi engage. That's a real massive hard engage, and that's really going to do.
He's not really an engaged top laner. If he dropped him.
Yeah, I think possibly dropped him.
Damage, but a Trundle engage is more happenstance and really less reliable. That's just the issue with him, really.
Yeah. Carry on, Rory.
Well, he's not an engaged top laner, which most top laners now are. He's kind of like Mundo, but less of an engage. But Mundo's still an unreliable engage. I think at the moment, people who have engages like Vi are typically the strongest kinds of engage. But then you have someone like Trundle who ults tank, which reduces his defenses so the AD carry can finally kill him. and gets super tanky and does the other job of running at the AD carry or the mid lane or whatever.
Yeah. And one jungler that was mentioned by Zanagra there is Vi. I
Yeah.
pretty much exclusively play Vi or Kha'Zix in the jungle at the moment in solo queue because of
I
their
hate you.
potential to carry. Dude, it's free elo right now. Them champions are so easy to carry with. And I want to touch on them
Don't play
too
Kha'Zix.
briefly. I want to touch on them too briefly. What are your guys' thoughts on the state of these carry junglers now, Vi and Kha'Zix being the main two?
If I'm
I heard
first pick,
Kha'Zix.
I ban them so quick.
Every game ban. Every game ban Kha'Zix. At least.
And Vi.
Vi,
If she just camps mid just loses, what can you do against
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
It's like she can literally close from like one side of the lane to the complete other with just
Yeah.
her Q plus ulti. And if she needs it, she can flash.
Yeah,
Like,
Vi is one
she's
that
so stupid.
people seem to know are strong, but don't actually ban. Like, they ban the Kha'Zix, and they're like, oh, I'll just leave Vi open because either
Yeah.
they won't pick it or someone later in my team will pick it. And then people are starting to, pick it up first, or if they don't pick it
Yeah.
first, then it'll get picked up straight away after. And you can build nothing but tank on Vi. You can just get obviously Spirit of the Ancient Golem. You can build into like a random into a Spirit Visage, and you still do so much damage. If you go into Spirit of the Elder Lizard as well, which I personally love doing on her, and then build tanky, you just do so much damage without any items. It's insane.
It's the max health damage on a W is just
Yeah.
it's extremely strong, especially because it procs off her Q and her E. So you can Q auto reset and already done like however much percent of max health it is. And one of the most annoying mid lane jungle combos is Vi LeBlanc, because Vi CCs you. Meanwhile, LeBlanc just walks up to you and just kills you. And there you go, they got a fed LeBlanc on their team. There's not really much you can do about that.
And if you're not dead by the end of the LeBlanc burst, then the tether just finishes and you're CC'd for another second.
Or then Vi's Q comes back up, and then you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah, don't worry, Zanogro. The nameplate is straight. It just shows up backwards on Google. So don't worry about that. Other than Vi, Kha'Zix,
Things
obviously-
everyone else is straight.
Yeah, no, yours is straight. Don't worry. Vi, Kha'Zix, the obvious top laners. We've touched on Jinx. Is there any other champions that you feel aren't being played very heavily in their role right now, but that we might see come out in the next few weeks, or champions that you feel are quite sleepers at the moment, or secret OPs, whichever way you want to refer to them?
Kale. Oh my god, Kale.
KO,
Yeah, Kale
agreed.
started to come
Kale
out now.
every
Yeah.
single day.
The ability to one-shot tanks and
Just-
make herself invulnerable,
And
or
any
whoever's playing your
teammate,
team
yeah.
invulnerable. I picked Kale into a LeBlanc, and LeBlanc roamed and got some kills. She went to like one-shot the AD carry. I just shielded him, and she was just what? And then
Just
I
cries.
killed in like 3 hits. Yeah, she just probably just left the game. It's got such a short cooldown as well. Like someone can get caught and you can shield them, and then the next engage you'll have it back up, and they still won't die. And then you have your heal and your Lich Bane and your one shot whoever the hell you want. It's a bit stupid at the moment.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Kale's really strong at the moment. Also, another one I want to mention, it's not been played massively in LCS, but every time some of the games that Munch casted, and when we've been in a game, if it's on the enemy team, I've dreaded it. If it's on our team, I think that they're going to feed, but they always seem to carry. Is Katarina at the moment seems to do so much damage, and if she gets going, she's always been strong, but she's at the moment in solo queue. I feel if a mid laner is good with her and can use her, she's very easy and has very high potential to carry a game single-handedly. Anyone?
I'm a highly avid Katarina player. I don't want to say they copied me, but before
I started
I think
ban it.
I think was it Scar who played it first
Pretty
in
much
the
as
LCS?
yes, it was.
I think it was
Scar used to
Scar
play it
or
all the time, yeah.
But Scar picked up on the first LCS like couple of games, and so far in Season 4 Katarina's been like my most played champion. I absolutely love playing her. Very risky pick though. If you pick like Katarina and they pick a LeBlanc, then you just rip you. You're pretty stuffed.
Yeah. I mean, like that's what I was gonna say. Really, is like she works fine in solo queue, provided that you can get away with the pick. But she'll never work in pre-mid, not this season anyway. There's just way too much control and too many jumps in the game.
The only way you'd ever pick her would be a counter pick.
Yeah.
I feel
I think-
she can still do okay against a LeBlanc is obviously she has great mobility, but if Katarina can somehow manage to out roam the LeBlanc and pick up kills while roaming against the jungler or the bot lane, and secure kills that way and not get too behind in farm,
Yeah.
I feel she can do okay then. But definitely,
The main
it's a champion that's very easy to counterpick.
the main problem with Katarina is the LeBlanc silence. It's not only that she'll push you in lane, but it's just the pretty much insta-cast silence. It's just you choose to go in, so you E on, and then she just Q or W's you, or even E's. She may even just Q ult you.
Just presses all
And
of
you
her
ult.
buttons.
Yeah, presses everything to get a silence off somehow. So she's quite easy to deny, but often if you have something on your team which can do damage to someone, so let's say someone gets like caught out and it's quite kind of low, and you get onto them, you can win a team fight in under a second with your resets.
Yeah.
And I think it was that LCS game where Shifter played her, and I don't think he's been doing particularly well on her, but it was just one or two team fights that he managed to get onto someone, and it made the team fight a bit messy. If that makes sense. That was a bit like, oh, who's actually going to win this one now?
Yeah, I think one of the massive things about Katarina, especially in solo queue, is the kind of champion that you can not do anything in lane. You can just farm, and then you just need one team fight. Even if the enemy mid laner is miles ahead, you just need one team fight where you get a couple of resets, and you're suddenly back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's
she's
true
very
of
much
any assassin.
Yeah.
I
True.
guess, yeah.
Especially I pre Olaf of the I before they ruined her. She was very much about like you could be doing nothing, but as long as you hit like one or two good charms and essentially one shot the AD carry with only a DFG. She was very much a scary pick, and then they completely ruined her, and now she's kind of useless.
Yeah, I still know there's a few mid laners in the Super 8 that like playing her. I wouldn't say, just in case they don't want to. But
She's my most played champion in season 3.
yeah, she's one of
and
my
they-
favorite
and they
mid
ruined her.
laners as well when I played it. So it was definitely sad
Yeah.
to see her go.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Syndra right now? Do you like Syndra, but do you not like playing Syndra?
Syndra's always been very strong, but never really picked, and they've never really nerfed or buffed her. I know. I can't remember. There was one team who especially liked playing her last split, and she's never really been nerfed or buffed. She's just been left, and
That was
I don't really know about Syndra.
that was the old Nip or Lemon Dogs lineup with Bjergsen, I think. But
Yeah.
obviously, I think one of the reasons that she's not seen so much is because she is mechanically a lot harder to master than traditional mid laners.
Yeah.
So for people to unlock her full potential, it takes quite a lot of games with her and learning her actual mechanics. Other
Yeah.
than that, I think we've gone over most of the actual OP champions that we think at the moment, and obviously. We sort of can guess what we're going to get in terms of ban phases and pick phases for the teams in the Super 8. Do you think your teams will be just banning general champions that you think is strong, or are any of you, going to put some research into the other teams and see what they're good with and try and target ban certain members of the team, or a bit of both?
I think there'd be a bit of both. I mean, you never really know what a team will bust out. They may have like 2 games with this champion and be comfortable enough to play her well. It's just they haven't really practiced that much. And if the champion is that strong, then it will be a problem. So it depends what we feel would be strong, just as a pick, or what the person will be strong on.
Right. And how do you feel? Okay, let me put it to you a different way. Do you think that a team, from looking at your previous games and that, would be able to ban out yourself or a member of your team quite easily? I'll start off by asking you that, Zinogre. Do you think that ACOG are going to be easily banned out against? You said that some of your was it you or Rift that said, sorry, that one of your members was struggling with a big champion pool and only had some champions. Are the teams going to find it easy to target ban and try and ban some of your members out, or do you think that you guys are reasonably safe?
I think we're safe. I mean, I said he has a very specific champion pool. It doesn't necessarily mean limited. It's just a case of he's comfortable on certain champs, but there's others which, I mean, if you're a mid laner anyway, or at least you play mid, there's a lot of mids that just play the same way. Like, I mean, Ziggs is basically the same as Lux. Oriana's her own special little cake, but all the assassins, play their own way. They just kind of fit into groups. There isn't really.
There's safe mid laners and aggressive mid laners.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no kind of. There's like Ziggs, Nidalee, Lux, who just sit back and poke you to death and just farm up well. And there's champions like LeBlanc, which at level 2 will just flash and kill you immediately.
Yeah. But in terms of the rest of our members, I mean, bot lane, good luck ever banning us out. I mean, I can dip into my Soraka pool if you really want me to.
Oh god, the bananas.
I really want to see the Soraka.
I want to see that Sword of the Divine Soraka, the triple banana crit.
Did you not see the ACOG highlight games from last season? Those were fun. The flying banana kill after a flash plus dash from a... Who was it? I think it was a Graves. As the bananas getting bigger and bigger and just finally KOs him. It was beautiful.
Before you touch on Soraka, I want to actually quickly ask you, do you feel Soraka's in a better position now that now that supports can build these AP items? She can scale
she's
better?
Trash now.
Yeah,
she would have been fine if they left her where she was. Like, if they didn't change where she was, she would have been fine. But the fact that now her E effectively costs mana, I mean, it doesn't to silence, but it does to transfer mana, and the fact that her passive was one of the best things about her. Like, are you kidding? Like, just a free 16 MR at level 1? Like, that was so stupid. Especially when the meta was starting to go towards, Zyra plus Fiddle plus Lulu, like that kind of region, that time. It was just, Soraka was starting to become a kind of nice niche pick in bot lane. But, yeah, since Season 4, no, she's just atrocious. Like, she really is.
She's always been fairly strong against assassins. I don't know if someone else joined. Cool.
No, I think it was just Munch joining again. I think he briefly disconnected. So Munch, you can just sort out your name really quickly.
Yeah.
She's always been fairly strong. Like I remember hearing that the big two supports that would counter back when Zed was extremely strong were like Lulu, obviously because of the ult, and Soraka to an extent because the assassin would go in and you just silence them. They wouldn't really be able to do
Soraka
much.
can be good for it, but she's like. Again, she's just a niche pick. Yeah, that's the issue, is that you've got to survive laning phase without really dying at all. I mean, if you die at all, really on Soraka, if you get behind levels, it really screws you, but...
Yeah.
Right, that's fair enough. So we've been going for 50 minutes now. Really appreciate your guys' time in joining us here. As I said, this is going to be a weekly show going forward, so make sure you do tune in. As the weeks go on and we get the scores, obviously we have a lot more to talk about in terms of the teams and where people are. Before we wrap up in the next sort of 5 minutes, I'm just going to hit everyone with a few more questions in terms of the actual groups. First of all, I want to ask everyone, including myself, I'll go at the end. I'll start with Munch, and then we'll go Rift, and then we'll go Zanagra. I want you can be biased to your own team here. I want your predictions for winner of Group A and winner of Group B. Munch, you go first.
I don't know. I don't want to hurt any feelings. This is a loaded question.
Oh no, they can be very close. On there could be like one game deciding it all, and then everyone's really good. But whether it comes down to the skin of their teeth or not, you can say two teams if you think not. But who do you think is going to come out on top on Group A, and who do you think is going to come out on top in Group B?
In my experience of the NUEL, I've got to say Manchester for Group A because, as much as I've seen of the NUEL, Manchester have been on top, and I haven't actually seen ACOG play yet. So I'm very interested to see how ACOG do. But also, in fact, all four teams in Group A are going to be really good. So, I mean, for all I know, Manchester haven't played in weeks, and everyone else has been practicing hard. So I don't know.
And Group B?
Group B, I'm not sure.
Don't let me down, bro.
Group B, I'm probably going to say Birmingham, I reckon.
You kiss ass. No, that's obviously Birmingham coming out on top of the group. That's completely fair prediction there. Rift, you want to go next?
You have to remind me who's in Group A and who's in Group B, because I've kind of forgotten, or vague teams. I know obviously that Manchester and ACOG in Group A, So just based on that, I think that I haven't really seen ACOG play, and Manchester's Manchester. They've always been extremely strong.
No, Manchester is a perfectly good reason to.
Well, they've always been very strong.
No, definitely. I just want to go over the teams for you. So Group A is going to be Manchester, Cardiff. No, that's Group B, isn't it? Yes. No. Manchester.
No.
This is messed up. 2 seconds here.
Group A is Manchester, us, Cardiff, and some trash tier. No,
wow!
Was it Nottingham?
Yes, it is. Manchester, Cardiff, Nottingham A, and ACOG. That's Group A. Manchester, Cardiff, Nottingham A, ACOG. So out of them four, you're going to say Manchester.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manchester's.
You are in Group B, obviously, which is going to be yourselves, Birmingham, KVGS Kittens, Manchester Penguins, and Fragsock, who have previously been there, and they've just come back up after struggling to get back into the Super 8 for quite a while, actually. But in fact, I just want to throw that out to you because you'll be playing against them. You've played with against them previously. How do you feel about going against Fragsock? I just want to throw that to you first.
Strong.
No, okay, fair enough.
The only team we've had issues with in the past were Penguins, which is why we kind of call it a rival match. They do like to play like AP Top Janna, which is a bit weird, but
yes,
it's always been a bit of a. I wouldn't say they're the ones who just give us much fun for our money. KVGS Kittens are obviously extremely strong. I think we went against them in the final, not finals, the tournament last split, and they gave us some close games. I know that the mid laner's champion pool is very weird. Champions that he likes to play, which aren't necessarily the best, but I think that the only team which will give us issues, if you even call them issues, like give us close games, would be Penguins.
So you're going to take yourself for Group B?
Yeah.
So that's another Manchester Birmingham then, okay. And Zanagra, your thoughts on Group A and Group B?
Group A, I've just got to say us. Like, it's not a cockiness thing. It's just a case of if you don't believe in yourself to win the whole thing, what's the point in trying?
Yeah. Fair
so
enough.
I've got to say us, and I'm hopeful, but we'll see. We shall definitely see.
And Group B?
Group B.
Birmingham, Kittens, Penguins, and Fragsock.
See, like, my heart kind of wants to say Fragsock because they're a long-standing kind of friend team. Like, we've had fun against them in the past, and they were really good. I mean, when the end of last season, I believe it was, as in season 2, so last year. Towards the end of last year, they were starting to really, pick up pace. They weren't exactly bad at any point, but they were kind of like mid-tier. They might get knocked out 1 week early, but then the next week they'd make it to like the semis, and they'd really give either us or Manchester a run for their money. So it was really a case of they were up and coming, but I don't think they ever quite got to show that they're, true light. So I'm gonna root for Fragsock just because it's an old time thing, but that's my heart. That's what my heart says. But in terms of what I believe,
Fragsock, that's fine.
But in terms of what I believe, Birmingham.
Oh god. Okay, fair enough.
After that long speech.
Yeah. Just summarise it with Birmingham. Group A for me is a very close group, closer than Group B. I think Group B still have great teams in, but I think the not talent level, the level of just scaling Group A is a lot closer together in all 4 teams. I feel ACOG and Manchester, depending on you guys play, I really feel that first game and this first week is going to give us a really good insight to like the future of this tournament. And obviously we will be streaming all of ACOG's games on Sunday, so we will be following ACOG closely, and we're all curious to see how you guys will do. No pressure. And I feel that obviously they've got to be the 2 favourites, Manchester, ACOG. I'd love to say, as I said, I've had friends in the Nottingham team. I'd love to say, Nottingham, they go, but they really need to step up their game if they're going to be anywhere near contenders. I know they're trying their best and they're stepping up, but honestly, I'd have to say Manchester based on what I've seen, but I would not be surprised at all if ACOG do really, really well in the first week and become serious competitors in that group. Group B for me, I'd just have to comfortably say Birmingham. That's not just because I'm from Birmingham either. That's just because they did really well last split. If not, I'm actually gonna go towards possibly KVGS because I thought KVGS played really, really well last split. And I know that they are a good team. Fragsock, they're very unpredictable. If they do well, again, a little bit like ACOG, but because they're not quite the same team, a little bit more unpredictable. If Fragsock do well, I can see them being, quite competitors as well. But I'm going to go Birmingham and Manchester as well. But as I said, because of the closeness in the skill in all of the groups, it's going to be a really great tournament. We cannot wait to see both of you guys. Will be following Birmingham on stream 2, which is going to be Twitch/the NUEL 2, which is over here. And ACOG, you'll be on stream 1 with me and Munch casting. And you have a Sigilus and Sodic casting stream 2. We cannot wait to see you guys in the NUEL. Really, really looking forward to it. Any last words that you want to say to everyone, and any last thoughts going into the start of this tournament? Even if it's just trashed and to get people scared of you, whatever you want to say.
I'd say raise your blue bears.
Fair enough. Seems to be a Twitch
Glad
chat
to say.
favourite, that one. So, and Sonogra, anything you want to say just to finish off?
No, not really. Just a case of Manchester better prepare themselves.
Calm, collected, and confident as ever. Cannot wait to see this ACOG team on Sunday.
But can I just say, is everyone in agreement then that Group A is the harder team? Is the harder group?
Yeah, I'll agree.
Boosh, then we don't have anything to shame.
We
have no
can
shame in
agree.
losing.
Me and Munch, we can't really, we're not going to divulge in that. I just said, I believe the skill level is closer together in Group A.
Yeah.
You can take that how you want.
AKA it's better.
But I think the skill level's definitely tighter in Group A. I'm not going to lie and say that it wouldn't be, I wouldn't be more confident in Nottingham if they were in Group B, because I would be. Just because
You're saying they stand no chance.
No, that's just because of how dominant Manchester and ACOG have been. But honestly, I think that actually makes them improve more because they've got Manchester and ACOG there. All the teams in Group A are going to have to step up their game, and it's going to make them improve faster. So I actually think it's balanced. Munch, anything you want to say? Obviously, me and you will be casting stream 1 on Sunday at 7 p.m. Is there anything you want to say to everyone before we leave?
Get excited. I think it's going to be incredible. I think the stream is going to be amazing as well. We've been putting a lot of work in, so hopefully the stream should be really, really good quality. And also, it's going to be swapping between Group A and Group B, so you are going to be able to see all of the teams in the Super 8.
Yeah, we're going to be swapping teams each week that we will be focusing on. Group B will be on stream 1 next week. Group A will be on stream 2. And we have all been working really hard behind the works, not just the casters. We're the ones that get, we get shown our faces, our voices, but there's so many admins and web developers and that out there. Josh, Ian been working their butts off for months and months. Charvy, Tom, everyone's been working so hard. So make sure you tune in, guys. We've put a lot of work into it, and we've got, some really great things coming up that will be, you guys will be seeing in the future. So really great to hear from that. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Really great to speak to you. Good luck, Birmingham on Sunday. Good luck yourselves, ACOG. Can't wait for that first game. Manchester versus ACOG, 7 o'clock. Make sure you're there. And other than that, thank you for tuning in, and see you next week.
Do make sure as well that you follow the NUEL on Twitter. We are going to start posting much, much more regularly now. There's going to be a lot of content pumped out through Twitter, through Facebook. There's going to be loads and loads of stuff coming out.
The NUEL on Twitter, the NUEL on Facebook. Munch, you are at Munchballs on Twitter. I am at ShadowLol.
I'm actually at Munchables LOL.
Munchables LOL. Okay, sorry about that.
I don't know who at Munchables is. I messaged them and asked for the tag, but they just said no, so sad times.
That's great. But other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in. ACOG and Birmingham again. Best of luck to you guys, teams, and we'll see you hopefully on Sunday, everyone. Good night.
See you later.